Jimmy has officially paid his first visit to Jey, so we'll see what else happened there. We'll also check out what's going on with Tiffany Stratton, The Rock, and more. Starting things off with Jimmy's visit to Monday Night Raw. This is something we discussed as a strong possibility to happen within the storyline, and it actually did go down on the October 14th edition of Raw with lots of new hints for what could be next. So it all started when Jey walked into his locker room to find Jimmy sitting there in the room waiting to talk. Jimmy asked Jey if he got a second, but Jey immediately turns around and storms out of the room. Jimmy hits the hallways checking every single room for Jey until he finally finds him again. Jimmy asks for Jey to hear him out, but Jey says no and tells Jimmy to get out of his face. So that was their last interaction of the night, and it obviously didn't turn out how Jimmy envisioned it going. Jimmy thought he would just pay a quick visit to Raw and talk with Jey to clear everything up, but time hasn't healed this wound. Jey is still very much disgusted with Jimmy for everything that has happened between them dating back to last summer. So like we mentioned when we first talked about the idea of Jimmy coming to Raw and trying to make up with Jey, his words are simply not going to be enough to win Jey back over. It's not going to be that easy, and maybe Jimmy has realized that now after his October 14th Raw appearance, and he's going to have to think of a new and complex way of getting Jey to at least hear him out. And they did give a clue of what that new plan from Jimmy may turn out to be. Jey and Bron Breakker will meet again in an Intercontinental title match on the October 21st edition of Raw. And in a promo segment hyping up the match, Bron Breakker focused a lot of his words towards Jey on his family. Bron said that he didn't need to use his own family name to make a name for himself in the company. But Bron criticized Jey for leeching off his family's name and legacy for his entire career so far. He even criticized Jey for some of the things that happened between Jey and the Bloodline. One of his closing remarks from that promo was how Jey's family can't save him from what he's about to do to him. So Bron and his emphasis on Jey's family and how they can't save him during the Intercontinental title match sounds like a big clue that we'll see exactly what Bron is talking about take place in the match. With Jey not wanting to speak with Jimmy at all, Jimmy has to adjust to a new plan. And telling by the context clues of Bron's words towards Jey, it looks like they could be heavily hinting at the idea of Jimmy coming out during the Intercontinental title match to try and help Jey against Bron. Jimmy would do something like that in an attempt to get on Jey's good side again and visually show him that he's trying to be there for him. Bron says Jey's family won't save him, but here comes Jimmy to try and do exactly that. But here's where the twist once again comes in for Jimmy's plan, because this can go one of many different ways. Jimmy can come out unannounced and legitimately help Jey defend his title against Bron Breakker. But even with a successful result of helping Jey defeat Bron, that could still have Jey upset with Jimmy. Jey is a big babyface champion. He doesn't want to use the classic Bloodline rules cheating tactics to defend his title against Bron. If Jey is going to defend his title, he wants to do it straight up without outside interference or help of any kind. Especially after the things Bron just got finished saying, Jey wants to show him that he's more than capable of standing alone and not needing his family's help. So that's why if Jimmy pops up unannounced to help Jey, that may only anger Jey even more. The other direction for a Jimmy interference to go in is the bad ending route. Jimmy comes out to help Jey, maybe they get into a little dispute, and now Bron Breakker capitalizes to dethrone Jey thanks to the distraction from Jimmy. So when you truly think about it, it's kind of impossible for Jimmy to win here in this situation. But if he successfully helps Jey defend the title, chances are Jey will be mad. And if he accidentally costs Jey the title, Jey will be extremely mad. So if Jimmy comes out during that match, he's truly putting himself in a very rough spot here, no matter what the outcome is. So the hole may just end up being deeper to climb up from for Jimmy if his outside interference goes wrong. It'll be hard to picture a world where Jey will forgive Jimmy if Jimmy ends up being the reason why he loses his first ever Intercontinental title. The only situation that may lean Jey more over to Jimmy's side is if Solo catches wind of what Jimmy is trying to do, and Solo ends up sending some of his guys over to Raw to stop Jimmy, and then somehow they end up costing Jey the Intercontinental title. Now that's a circumstance where all of Jey's rage and anger with being screwed out of his title will be directed at Solo's group. Now Jey would have some new reasoning to come after Solo's gang. They would have been the reason why his first ever singles reign came to an early end. So it's just something to watch out for. Bron put so much emphasis on Jey's family during his promo, and that makes it sound like we'll see some of those family members make an appearance during the Intercontinental title match. Some family members may be out there to try and help him, while others could be out there to try and screw him over. So either way, it looks like this match between Jey and Braun will really push the narrative forward of Jey reuniting with the original Bloodline. Speaking of the Bloodline, someone in The Rock's Instagram comment section asked him if the rumors were true that he can't work WrestleMania 41. The Rock responded to the individual himself and said not to listen to those reports. So not a direct answer from The Rock, but it's an answer that definitely seems to heavily imply that he will in fact be at WrestleMania in April. A lot of fans feel like this upcoming WrestleMania is the perfect opportunity for the company to capitalize on whatever match they want to have with the current situation between The Rock, Cody Rhodes, and Roman Reigns. Fans were fearful of the reports that The Rock will miss WrestleMania 41, because that would mean that everything would have to be put on hold until WrestleMania 42. But The Rock's comment there does give everyone hope that he'll be back in the ring in April for whatever match they end up doing. So there was another awkward moment between Jax and Stratton this week on Raw. Jax had sent Tiffany there to send a message to everyone. But towards the end of the main event, turns out Jax was there herself. She ran out to clear the scene of everyone in the ring and actually did Tiffany a favor. Jax fully laid out Liv Morgan to set up the perfect cash-in opportunity for Tiffany. It took a second for Tiffany to catch on to what was happening, but she went to get the case and use it on Liv, but Dominic ended up saving the day for Liv and got her out of the ring. The suspicious part about this moment was that Tiffany barely showed any interest in using the contract on Liv Morgan. It was almost as if Tiffany already had her mind locked in on using it towards Jax, and that's why she really wasn't paying attention to the fact that Liv was knocked out. The segment was great, though, because it establishes that the contract is valid on both world champions. Jax tried serving up Liv on a silver platter for Tiffany, of course, in order to save her reign from being a victim of the contract, but Tiffany just wasn't fast enough in this moment. It looks like the contract will still play a factor during the Crown Jewel match, and if Tiffany uses it there, which champion will she end up pinning, is the question there. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.